Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Trade the Pool live stream. I am here today with Deanna, as usual now. How are you, Deanna? You all right?
I'm doing well. How about you, Scott?
Yeah, I'm doing great. So we'll check out everyone in the chat in just a second. Put all your tickers in there that you want us to take a look at, and we'll be right back in a sec. All right, so just going to say hello to a couple of the guys. Trader Life, how you doing? Tiny T, great Scott, welcome. Sky High Reef, how are you doing? We're going to start the stream off again today on Monday with Deanna's, what do we call it, a meditation? What are we going to call this segment?
Mindset warm-up, that's what I like to call it.
Mindset warm-up.
Yes, getting our mind ready to trade, getting ourselves in the right place. And it's a little bit of a body warm-up too. So good morning, everyone. So starting with the power pose, you want to do 1 minute or 2 minutes today, Scott?
What time we got? Let's do a 2 minute. I think I need a 2 minute. Let's do a 2 minute.
2 minutes. Okay, it's Monday, so we'll go for 2 minutes. So we're breathing in through our nose. You can reach up, power pose. So you want to be in a position of power. I'll set a timer here. All right. So reaching up, arms overhead, breathing in your nose, hold at the top, and big exhale like you're blowing out birthday candles. Hold at the bottom, big breath in, again, smile as you're doing this, so we're habit stacking. Hold at the top, and exhale, blow out those birthday candles. As you're doing it, thinking about the things that you're thankful and grateful for. Maybe even incorporating a bit of a stretch as you start out. You can remember to smile as you're doing it, breathing in. And all we're doing here is sending a message with our body to our brain. A signal of confidence. We're waking up the body, telling our body we're alert, we're ready to go. We want to be confident as we're trading, not too overly confident, not charged, not amped up. It is like praying. That's right. It's whatever, it can be just thinking about things that you're grateful and thankful for. But if that means praying for you, that works too. Last big breath in. Excellent. Great job. Then this is a perfect opportunity to review your trading plan every single day. I know it seems redundant, but just reminding yourself what you want to be doing and what you're going to be looking for today. Scott, do you want to go through a quick visualization for winning and losing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, definitely.
Okay, so same thing here. I like to close my eyes, and what I'm thinking about is looking at the chart, imagining in my mind what it looks like. This is what professional athletes do. The Olympic team does this. This is seems a little fluffy, but this is a really important part about being elite in our performance. So imagine what your chart looks like, and you're going to enter a trade. And this time, the trade goes against you. So imagine what that's like for you. Think about the feelings that you experience in your body, the sensations. For me, maybe I get a bit of a pit in my stomach. Maybe my heart rate starts to speed up. My breathing changes. Maybe I feel hot. Maybe I feel cold. So become aware of what that feels like and then work on normalizing. So you're sitting up straight, chin up. and putting yourself, your body physically in a posture that sends a signal to your brain that you're okay. This is just part of what I do. Think about the emotions that you're experiencing, maybe anger, maybe sadness, maybe fear, maybe even disgust. And it's fine to have those emotions. You can acknowledge it out loud. I feel angry, I feel scared, and just work on tuning them down or turning them down. And then thinking about the thoughts that you have in your head. We all know the thoughts that come in mind when we're losing. But 3 things we can tell ourselves: this is a valid trade, I risked appropriately, and every trader takes losses. This is just a part of the game. If I want to be a trader, I have to be okay with taking losses. Okay, so we're just working on calming it down. Okay, now this time we're gonna reset here, and we're gonna do another trade, and this time we're gonna visualize what it looks like when we win. So imagine price coming into your zone where you're going to enter. And this time price goes in your favor. Okay, so again, pay attention to the sensations in your body, the emotions that you're feeling, and the thoughts that are in your mind. You can sit up in a power of confidence again. Work on normalizing your physical sensations. Maybe your heart rate is racing because you're excited. Work on calming it down. Your emotion, perhaps it's joy or happiness. It's fine to feel that when you're winning. Just tune it down a little bit, turn it down a little bit. We just want to level out the emotions. And then paying attention to your thoughts. I'm not a hero. I'm not a genius. This is just part of what I do. Okay? And regardless of if you win or lose, you're resetting every single time between trades, resetting, so that each trade you take is brand new. And then the final piece is to think about why you're here, okay? Which side of you are you gonna let push the buttons this morning, okay? So the impulsive side or the logical side, think about that. Those are all fine sides of yourself, but think about truly why you're here and if your behavior is aligning with your actions this morning, okay? Thank you for joining me. Welcome, Lone Wolf. Tanish, welcome. Thank you so much. Trader Life. It's Parker. I hope you all joined in, and I hope this starts off your day right. Thanks, Scott.
All right, no worries. That's good. Favorite part of the show. That is much better than that. Let the people in the chat tray.
I'm so glad.
Okay, what have we got? Let's take a look. It's Parker, Trader Life, me, Hal. What have we got? First one in there, you've got PLL. We'll take a look at PLL. I've got a few to look at, but I'm going to go straight in with chat at the minute. So PLL. Okay, yeah, PLL is certainly up. Let's have a look at what it is on the daily. Let's remove some of these from previous. Okay, so we're currently at 15 on this. It's very, very tight at the bottom here. See if I can't get something on this. Okay. So not necessarily today, but the levels I have on this are 18 or 17, about 1720 to 1880. Oh, we need to get back to some charts, don't we? Let's have a look here. Just going to grab this up, share. Hi, there we go. So PLL, I'm going to grab that one there, and then benchmark 2 sitting up here at around 22 to 23, and then I'm just going to throw the bogey level in right in the middle there, somewhere around 2060. So that's what we have at the moment. So all the while we was below this kind of 1380 level. It's kind of accumulation, not a good place to be. Pre-market, we've popped out of it, so let's drop down a time frame. So yeah, pre-market is coming in. Now, if we take yesterday's levels, we're going to do a very similar thing. I just want to take that spread from yesterday's lows. Okay, so we've already hit the kind of pre-market, post-market benchmark 2 there. So I'm going to be aware of that. And we're certainly still in that area. And I'm going to bring across the low to the high. So I've currently got, this is the key level up here to break if we're going to go higher and check out these levels today. Remember, those levels don't, just because we're on the scanners, and doesn't necessarily mean that's what we've got today. Trader Life, are you going to give me a time for this today? I know you give me a time on CDE. When was that? On Wednesday. So if you're going to throw in the time, by all means, if you think we're going to hit this pool, throw the time in. We'll have a look, see what happens at that time. So that's your PLL. So there is room to the upside, most definitely. A pullback from the move that we've had in pre-market is going to be really low given how fast it went up. Oh, the liquidity switch on has acknowledged it already. Let's do that. Buy side pull. Okay, so that's what we have at the moment on PLL. That is 13.5. So 13.5. We'll have more levels, but it's a little. We'll wait until the open to pull another one. There's a more recent one sitting here about 15.30, but we'll give that a sec to play out towards the open. Before I crack on with some more, Deanna, do you want to do the index side of things and see what you've got?
Sure, we can look at NQ. NASDAQ has been very bullish this morning. So we had a high impact news release this morning at 8:30. 8:30 was core retail sales, Empire State Manufacturing Index, and that was at 8:30 this morning. So we've seen a move up in NQ already so far, and looking at ES as well, S&P. Oops, that's not S&P. There we go. Looking pretty similar in ES, S&P as well. So once the news release came up, price shot up even higher. So looking at a bullish bias on both NQ and ES today, and we'll see how it goes.
All righty, okay. We've been playing with something recently. I just can share it with you. I don't know whether you use V-Weap at all. But I've been taking a look at some V-Weps, and I've been using the... we could do a session on this actually, but I've been using the V-Weps for anchoring against the economic news or the volatility that we can see. So I kind of anchored one FOMC, one on non-farm, and we just carry them forward. And these are those kind of 2 or 3, 4 news releases we've had, and we have them right here. So these are the FOMCs and the non-farm payrolls. And you can see we just kind of trapped between them this morning, and then we pushed up, went into that kind of 350 area, which is the deviation from this VWAP here. So it's interesting to see how we acknowledged that earlier on in the Globex session, and then again the other one just more recently. And then so we'll see how we go with that one, and whether or not I've got my level a little bit higher. So I've got my sell side pool up here around 415 to 480 to see if we can get a push up for the next kind of turn round again. These ones at the bottom, they're all lining up all the same. So when they kind of do that, the two at the top as well, when they kind of do that, it's like a break one side or the other. Could see what we've been waiting for all this time, hopefully, because it's been a while since we've had a really nice trending week. I don't know. Anything would be nice apart from this chop that we're sitting in at the moment, right? So all you can do is play the session. And for me, the prior session, the prior swings. So let's see what we've got heading on up at the moment, and let's see if we can do anything at this kind of 18,400s level today. All right, so I've got Parker, your MNDR 3-day runner, and IPO. Yeah, we're going to talk about IPOs actually a little bit later on. Yes, that would be good. But yeah, you're right. MNDR has which doesn't always happen with these, but this is a mobile health network solution company, and from the IPO they have just been running at the moment. So we'll have a look and see what they've got in it. I don't like the spread necessarily on that first day to cut from. If I was looking at anything else, I'd be going at that pre-market. So I'll be taking that area there. So I have a level. Zoom in again and do that again. So I'm thinking up there at 19.20. If we can hold above this benchmark where we are, we've kind of put a little double top there. But for the minute, I am thinking we're at benchmark 1. We've just closed above. Let's see if it can head on up to benchmark 2. The pullback there is going to be at $12. I'm going to say around about $12. There will be 3 pools of liquidity they could use if they need it. If they want to come back for it, don't be surprised if they come back to 12s before they carry on. But let's see. It's been using this 21 EMA for the most part, so let's see what it does there on MNDR. ONVO I've also got shooting up into its benchmark right now. So benchmark number 1, this was very messy at the lows as well. So I've got a daily and an intraday being marked up, all of which tops out at around $3 if it can get there. So it's going to be interesting to see. Let's have a look on the 1 minute, see what's holding right now. Okay, so we've just broken above the most recent pre-market sell side. Buy side holding. Whoopsie. All right, so let's bring that across and see where. So we've just, again, literally tapped into that first area. So we're going to leave that one on. And then now sell side, we've used that one already. We have a new one right here, which we're also using right now. So we are trapped until the open. I'm sure the open will bring us something. But if we can get above this get above and close above 175, I think we're going to see more upside. We'll listen to the tape for that, see what we've got. But for the minute, 140s, 135, we'll see if we can hold at that level. If not, resting liquidity pool down here at 117. Target would be about 110 if we were going to short. But for the minute, front side. So we're going to wait and see what the open brings us and if we've got any upside potential on ONVO. Right, what else we got in here? DJT, files to sell, 21 million shares. Thanks, Great Scott. ICCM on stock market tips and tricks. Check them out. Thank you very much. Let's have a look. Okay, ICCM has been up there. Let's a quick look back on the daily. Okay, so it's done a run from 1 to 12 previously. It done that pretty much got to the high there or thereabouts in a day, but it did have another look over a few days after that, but didn't really gain too much extra price on that previous high. What we got now? Have we got a new catalyst on this one? No real new catalyst from what I can see there, at least in what Trading View's got for us. But looking at the lows, that's messy. I'm going to say 250 on this one for the minute. There is going to be a bigger one, but it's going to be huge. If I can grab that. And this one, time we got 21 past. So the pre-market is into benchmark. I take it if we drop down here now. Yeah, okay. So we're into the first benchmark. We are using the buy side liquidity pool right now, just working it. So if you want to target anywhere else above here for 240, now's kind of your best risk reward. You got 138, stops at 125, just below that pool. That's kind of the best risk to reward on it. You have to get through 170 for more upside though. So there's your sell side liquidity pool there. I'm going to put a little alert around 157 to see what I can get on that. Yeah, so yeah, that's most risk reward kind of right now as you're working out of it. Obviously, you're heading into the open, so we don't know what's that's gonna hold. But yeah, could see a pop and drop, or if we close above 170, then we've got two kind of 30, 240 on it for me. All right. What else we got? Morning, FJF. How you doing? Boogie Woogie's back. Hey, how you doing? What are you looking at? Anything else at the moment, Deanna?
I'm looking at Dexcom this morning. DXCM. So it looks like it's going to be gapping up a little bit, but it's in a good position for me, and going to be watching that to see how it opens and how it starts reacting this morning.
And still looking, if you got a catalyst, why are you picking that particular one out?
It's you know, a top stock in general, a strong stock, and it has been moving up. It's still above its 50-day moving average, and it's been just sort of consolidating sideways for a bit. So just going to see if I can find a potential entry there. It's right near prior high. So see if we can get a spot where there's a nice pullback. Can you
Gotcha.
see my chart? Yeah, a nice pullback on Dexcom. Looking at the hourly chart, and it did start to move higher on Friday. So let's see how it'll open this morning.
All right, no problems. So we've got a couple more tickers in the chat there. So ONVO and HUBC. So ONVO, this one for Hanish. How you doing, Hanish? Good to see you. ONVO, yeah, I've already marked this one up this morning in pre-market. So we're toying around here with benchmark 1. Benchmark 2's up here at kind of 250 area. Bogey level there at 215. 170 is the one to break. We've already broken one sell side liquidity pool, which is kind of a bullish indication that we, once we broke one, you could break another. Both didn't need the first one on the buy side, just touch the second one on the buy side. So there you go with ONVO. Let's see what happens on the open there. And HUBC is the other one for me. How we've got a push in. Oh, actually, this was previous play, wasn't it? Let's zoom out a little bit. Okay, so we didn't quite get to that benchmark the last time this popped and was on the scanner. So these are from the prior run. So we didn't quite utilize any of this. So you can see this is where, when I call it that resting buy side pull, and sometimes I say, like, we could rest in here for days or weeks until it wants to go again, if it ever wants to go again. And that's kind of what we've done here. So then we popped out of here on the last Wednesday, in fact, on the last show. And that swing gave us another buy side pull. That took us back to the sell side pull from this big A up here at 190 to the B at 94. And that was working. And I'm not going to draw it in, but there's another one here. There was a buy side pull here, which we've utilized right at those moving averages, which is a really nice play. And now we've broken sell side. Most recent buy side is sitting right here. Machines being switched on there have acknowledged that also. Now that high to this low, right? Because that's a steep kind of jump up there. So we're sitting up there. So above 234, 235, close above, could see us head to the upside on HUBC. All right. What's that you're saying? It was 260 open pre-market. Yeah, that's all right. We'll see what we've got nowadays. Yeah, it was a spike up there, wasn't it? Straight on the open. But yeah, to me, that's just acknowledging what it missed first off. It was kind of a bogey level in between two. And we just, that's where it should have gone on day one as far as I was concerned. But obviously there's more room to the upside. So let's see if we can hold this 150 to 165 area at the moment. Just while Trader Life is doing his timing analysis for us. Let's take a look. What have we got? 4 minutes. Quick look back through what we had last week, just to see if there's any shorts on that people have forgotten about. See, rent still looks pretty front side-ish to me. If there is a short to be had, that's where I'm going to look for it. A kind of 24s up there. If we break 26, we could see more upside, although I don't have anything else other than this benchmark that was originally there. So if we are backside, let's see what that looks on a smaller time frame. Yeah, that's okay. If we can pop to 25, 24, 25 and hold it, see a little curl round, then we could have a short on back down. RLYB was the other one on Friday I was looking at. This went up to the benchmark 2 sell side liquidity pool late in the day, the sell side liquidity pool again, because that was a squeeze at the end of the, like, in the afternoon basically. And then now we're definitely backside for this stock. Anywhere you can get in on this, it's literally just dropping. I would prefer, we haven't tapped into this level at 232, but it's whether or not we can get there. If not, the next one's literally just above $2, 205 to 210 on RLYB. 2, I think, is done. That was a benchmark play. Yeah, it's sitting in its it's coming off its resting buy side pool, but it would have a lot of work to do to get any higher than that. But 180 would be the area for backside shorts, assuming 190 can keep that in check as well. PMXD, that looks done, resting 68 cents. It's done its thing as far as I'm concerned, not looking for anything on that. INDO is interesting because it's kind of double top at a benchmark 2. So just looking here for this pre-market high up at kind of 560, 570 to hold. We have sell side going in there at 532. So I'm going to listen to the tape on the open and see what we've got. That open is about 30 or so seconds away. So that's 533 to 555 on INDO. So we'll see what else we've got going on, and we'll take a look at the big caps as that market opens. Tesla very near its sell side liquidity pool right now as we speak, going into the open as well. All right, you ready, Deanna?
Here we go.
All right, good luck, everyone. Here we go. 5 seconds. Okay, from the off, everything looking a bit green on the first flash from the Mag 7, and then NQ itself turning red on that though. Let's see if the Mag 7 coming. Yep, and now they're turning red. So it's always the wrong way around, the chicken egg scenario. So we're coming off of the those V-Weaps that I said, standard deviation from the economic releases there. I'm still kind of hoping we could push up to the 420 areas on this, so we'll have a look and see how that works out. So is Tesla moving off? Yeah, so Tesla literally has just popped into its sell side liquidity as well, just trying to work out what else Tesla might have on it in terms of best execution. We've got a really so it's acknowledge it's minor one, so 166.76 if it's to the downside. It has to get past there, right there. It has to get past 169.50-ish and a little bit lower. Let's just mark that in. So that's the buy side pull. So let's see if it wants to crunch straight through there. Everything seemingly red again. Let's just bring up the rest of the Mag 7 here. Yeah, NVDA is off. Amazon's on the tick chart. Seems to be going crazy for me. Let's have a quick look at these. Not getting anything on the tape on the small caps yet. Let me just check. Okay. Okay, there goes Tesla trying to toy with that 169.10 level. Let's see if it acknowledges it and cracks it or not. Quick look back at the NQ while it does that. Yeah, Tesla's going to go. I think the NQ. Oh, look, NQ. Yeah, Tesla's just broken that level now. So ONVO, sell side liquidity held. Sell side liquidity short on 166, already in target at 42 from the pre-market analysis we've done there. LGVN again showing short straight out the gate. HUBC seems not too fast. HUBC at the moment about too much. INDO again short out the open, so everything coming off on the open. You coming into any levels there, Deanna?
Well, I like how NQ is pulling back. I just need a little more time to see if it's gonna, hold that level and get a reversal from there, or if we're just gonna continue lower. But to me, this is still a good spot for NQ.
Okay, gotcha. Let's have a look back. Have you got a particular price in mind, or are you literally looking to see if this holds right now?
Well, I was looking at, here's the Fibonacci that I have there. So I'm liking anywhere from 313.25 as low as 299 flat. But this is, if it doesn't hold here, then I'd be waiting to see how things shape up after that. So it's a little bit early to call a new price. But if price does hold this level, then I'd be looking for a new break higher.
All right,
so we'll see if it can hold here. But to me, this is, this zone here is attractive. But if it doesn't hold here, then things might change.
No problem. Keep an eye on it. Trying to see if I've got anything else running on the tape in the small caps. AMD's falling. Let's have a quick look at AMD. Thanks, Meta. Coin and resistors. Throw these up in the chat so everyone can just take note of them. And MNDR on the move again, Shane saying. Okay, AMD. Yeah, AMD aligning with the Nazi and everything else at the moment. So I'm just trying to wait and see if they... see if anything wants to start pulling up off of these levels. Let's just have a quick look here. All right, so Tesla, if it wanted it after that push, trying to look for its best execution on Tesla. First swing out. Yeah, okay, so I've got best execution sitting down here where we've paused at the moment. So if we do get a break now below one kind of this 168.50 level, Tesla could want to go a lot further down. So let's see what we've got. We haven't quite pulled back to just going to mark this level in. PLL is being called out on the tape. PLL is being called out on the tape right now. So just looking to see if Tesla can hold this. Okay, looking then to see if Tesla can get down to 166.91 or not. So just literally broke its buy side liquidity pool that we spoke about. Let's see how far it can get. I would say let's run this up to the top. It was running right into its benchmark, so it'd be nice to see this benchmark fail actually and try and get to 2, or given that it is the open. If not, we need to be careful of this area. I just took a short on the breaker just below 168.50. I got a bit of slippage there, but I will need to see this 167.58 break right now. Otherwise, we'll just cover it off because I don't want to see this pull back from its benchmark. Come on, Tesla. All right, what we've got, the Qs aligned with this. Okay, Q's pulling up a little bit. It's not to say Tesla won't continue to do what it's doing to the downside, nevertheless. But like I said, if we can't close below this benchmark, okay, we can't. Just let this play out for the minute and see if we pop above. If not, cover this on scratch. 167.91. Come on. The NQ can give us another retest at these lows. We might get follow through on Tesla. Shane's got DXYZ. Right, now I've got some speed coming in. Let's see if the NQ is going to give that up and get back to the red side. Right on this low benchmark here, 167.60 to break. LGVN also on the tape. Just going to bring this, get the stops in place. If we can't get this down to 167 at least. Okay. Just managing this through. Just tested that first buy side liquidity level for me. I've just covered Tesla. Now let's take a look at these small caps. ONVO. ONVO still working. This is where we've got to be careful. This could see a continuation in the middle of that first zone. The gap is between 134 and 117. It doesn't necessarily mean you should short the gap. As it happens, it's always I find it's always better if you wait for the kind of pullback. We'll be looking for the bigger swings and the shorter swings here. So that's huge. It's right up there. If it was going to come back on the most recent one, I'd be tracking this down. It's currently at about 150. LGVN is also on the tape. LGVN. Okay, let's see if it's got its sell side liquidity up there before. It hasn't quite made it a couple of times, so I'm just going to keep an eye on where it is right now. Just check out where the VWAP is on this. That's right, we're above VWAP. We are at a deviation of it. Let's see what we've got down here. Okay, so we're above. So I think we can get to this 280. It'll be on the next target. Right, PLL is also on the tape. Quick look at PLL.
Break on the NASDAQ is starting to push higher.
Oh, so Tesla doing its thing there. Tesla putting poo lows down to 166. Okay, yeah. Let's see what we've got on PLL. What do we have above it? So here is the one, right? Here is what we're saying. This is the last level of liquidity at 1660 for me. Like I said, very front side. It's holding above 50% of where it's come from here. Its buy side pull was like way away from that spike that it had this morning, which is not surprising. It's so low. But right now, let's see what we've done here from the open dip. Okay, we've got a buy side pull. Hello. A buy side pull sitting down there, $15.50 to $15 if it needs it. So just trying to check out if it can break. We know we've seen it before. If it breaks and closes above these 1670s and we get on money flow on the tape again. Let's see what it does now. Just thinking about it. It's kind of a momentum play. Anyone that does the momentum trading looking at the tape now would be looking for this to kind of goes straight up as it does, I'm generally wait for those pullbacks to see if I can't get a better price than that. But sometimes these run and you can't catch them. There it is. There it is. PLL just rejecting for the moment. LGVN trying to just edge closer to sell side liquidity pool. Let's see what it can do when it can get there. Just looking at the context again from this. Okay. It's whether or not it wants to retest up here at 308. Okay, pre-market has given us levels higher. Okay, so we do have higher levels on this, so just watching what it does right here. So yeah, a lot of money on the tape for this right now. That's all I can hear. Let's see what this can do at 3. A break above 3. It's going to go and look for this thicker benchmark up here between 40 and 60. If it can hold this. Right, there we go. There's the crack. Let's see. It's just gone to that benchmark 2 again. That's the alert just gone off there that I had in from pre-market to let me know we are effectively double topping into benchmark 2 here. Just trying to look at that volume. All right, so I've got money flow on the tape now, but the price isn't going up anymore. It's holding at 3s. Right, here we go. Let's see if we can't push that. There it goes. So there is your new high above pre-market. That's going to get bought up by retail traders. Not sure if they're going to go straight in on the shorts, but I'd probably be waiting for 350 if I wasn't aware of, if I'm just doing it to short into those traders that are buying the pre-market break. Let's see if you get any rejection on that basis. Here we go. Okay, so first target that this is going to have to contend with if we are going to go short side is going to be 255. 255, 245. Deanna, give me a shout if you've got anything you're looking at that's interesting there.
Okay, I'm just watching NQ looking for a pullback to see if I can get in there. 288.50 right in the middle of the imbalance at about the halfway point, candle body to candle body.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So right now, OMVO, they're stepping up. Mr. T, what's the name of the fib of the? What is the name of the fib tool on TradingView? I think that might be one for you.
Yeah, if you're looking over at let me see. Yeah, on the left-hand side here, right here, click on the Fibonacci here, and you can customize it. If you draw it on there, you can customize it however you want. So double click, and these are the settings that I have outlined here. If you want to see the settings, and you can kind of customize it to your liking. I mainly use it just for a measurement tool, and it works pretty well for that.
Thanks, Deanna. MNDR's ripping. Who's got that one? Hi, Marina. How you doing? Shane.
Hi, Marina.
Okay, MNDR. Yeah, straight off the open. backside of that benchmark, what have we got above? So yeah, looking up there for the 19s. Is it holding each of those benchmarks now? So yes, it is. It's held that one. Its next one sitting here. If it wants it, 1650. If not, it can continue on up. What else? We've got DXYZ Shane's looking at as well. DXYZ. Oh, where could that go? Where could that go? So just tapped into 38s at benchmarks along to 40 as well. And then the last swing out of pre-market into the highs so far. So it's coming back to get that liquidity right now. A close below 33.85. LGVN on the tape again. That is a buy side pull. So that's what on DXYZ to see if it wants to carry on that move or not. Oh, this is a benchmark one, sorry. There's your benchmark play on that. There is one higher, but let's see if that one gets broken first. MPW has had a move to the upside as well. Hanish, let's have a look. Did we get anything on that post market? Let's have a quick look. Okay, that's been playing out for some time on MPW. It's close. So it's been acknowledging and accumulating around that benchmark one for some time there. 547, the bogey level will be smack in the middle between these two. It's kind of where it's been. So sounds like we're gonna have a push on the Qs on the Nasdaq there.
It looks like it.
MPW looks really nice there, actually. If it wasn't for the fact it was so close to that, yeah, it's just literally below that buy side. So this is going to be, so just below that buy, this is going to be that color game. So regardless of the buy pool just being broken there, it's just wicked below. That will be a color change play there at these moving average. Let's see if the longs get in on that. HUBC. Still looking for further down in that liquidity box by the looks of it on the buy side for HUBC. INDO off of its sell side liquidity from the open. MNDR still looks like it's being aggressive up to the 19s. Let's see if it wants to come back and get that buy side. It's pushed a little bit higher, so let's see if that's adjusted this pull. To about 1630, 1640 if it wants to come back and get it for MNDR. We're at the bogey level. That's right. Yeah, watch that. Okay, NVDA. We've got Tesla still pushing down. 165s for Tesla now. Meta is pushing up. Let's have a quick look. New highs on LGVN. Let's see. Okay, it's just above. I took that to the wick. Be careful on NVDA there. See if it can break this 900 level. Natural level there. Okay. LGVN went quiet on the tape. Oh. Shorted some LGVN. See if we can't get it down to 260. Okay, so sell side pull. So at a benchmark 2, this is I prefer it if we come back to this 320, 325 level, so I can add some up there. But the fact that it's kind of just a wick above it, I just want to check. You could argue if I'm looking at the closes, you can argue that if I'm looking at the closes, it has already done it. So I've kind of shorted there. But if I'm working off of the new high to the new low here on this kind of 1 minute chart, if I was looking at a tick chart, it'll be a little bit more clear that we could do it. But yeah, that would then be the new sell side that it could use. But let's see what it's got. The gap here I've got then it's kind of down to 260. I'd like to see it do it quicker because there was a lot of volume on that tape for LGVN this morning. So we'll give it a shot. And if not, we will put a stop in and cover it at the highs. So looking for, let's go 260. See if we can't get a little flush. Okay. Okay, let's see if we can get some short pressure here coming in. Let's see, just a little flush would be nice. Well, we've got an NQ. Deanna, what
still moving higher.
Still moving higher.
Really nice rebound from, opening down a bit. And then so far, it just seems like price is just sort of moving up. So I took a position on NQ at the 289, and I'm at break even now. So just see how NQ, if we continue to see a push higher, or might see another move back lower. But right now I'm sitting at break even, keeping an eye on it with a trailing stop.
Hi, Evelyn. Question for you. Deanna, are you in the trade you were showing earlier?
Good morning, Evelyn. Yes, I am. I'm showing you too how I'm trailing the stop up. So this is the initial position where I got in. And, I typically just need like a 1 to 2. And so that would be where I'd be happy at. But I do have, just on the hourly time frame, the target set at this candle body here. But I'm managing with a trailing stop at this point. So 2 to 1 is going to be about, well, let's put it on there and see what that looks like. This was the initial stop on the position, and just following a checklist, just like we talked about. Here's the 2 to 1. So here's my current stop, and I'll just keep moving it as price. If price goes in my direction, I'll keep trailing it higher. Otherwise, get out for a small, and maybe not. Maybe it'll turn around. But this is a normal pullback at this point. So we'll see what happens here. Oops.
Okay, nice one, Deanna. Looks good. All right, so LGVN. I just added a piece on LGVN to see if we can't fill this gap down to 260. So I'm looking for these stair-stepping moving averages to hold this price action. If not, then I will see if I can't get an ad up at 320 if it wants to come up and grab that. Actually, I'm just going to check because I'm dragging that pool down. No, it's still pretty much where it was based on the first high it had. Okay, let's see what we've got then. That LGVN, see if we can't play out a little bit. Still aware, obviously, that we have this level up here at 470, 480, and the bogey level at 425-ish. So literally just trying to fill this gap here. I've got seeing some red on the tape from Apple, Amazon, Meta, and NQ overall. Just a little pullback here. Looks like it's trying to create itself a little channel. Let's have a quick look. Let's have a look at NQ, see where. All right, so for me, NQ just tapped into its sell side liquidity pool up there. And it's been utilizing its buy side pools by the looks of it twice. So once here, and the most recent one we've got is just literally ticked into the top side of it, which is the back side of those economic V-Weaps. So buy side. Okay, let's see if that buy side pool can't help you along. LGVN, back to LGVN, see if we can't manage this, if we're going to get it. Okay, so stair steppers hold there. We got the color change. So I have to look out for this 260 area. That's where my target is right now anyway. So that's what I'm hoping for. PLL on the tape. PLL, we've called that out before. Okay, so PLL just broken. Look, so literally we was talking about that the last time it pushed on the tape and it held up there at 16, pulled back to tap into its first buy side, didn't need any lower than that, and now it's gone off and broken that. So that's the momentum we've seen off the gap between 1660 to 17 up to the benchmark. So just remember, we have levels above this. New high of day as well, 1701 looks like was the previous high. Again, I think just general short sellers that if they're interested in this may want to wait a little bit longer, 1750 perhaps, but we'll see what we've got. Just keep an eye on it. So we will now have a new buy side liquidity pool because that one's been tapped into. So it's going to be, it worked its way out of one as well. So I'll just track them up. Okay. So the new one there at 1623, if it's going to be one of those kind of programmy kind of days where they just keep back and getting the next participant in at the next best price. But being aware, for me, that's a tap into the benchmark right there. This one didn't quite make it pre-market. That is an acknowledgement of the benchmark. Trouble is, it's about $1 thick today. So momentum plays obviously to the upside if it's going to continue color changing on the stair-stepping moving averages. Let's put that in. Just looking back to LGVN for the minute. Looks like that buy side's working on the Qs.
Yep.
So LGVN, just going to put a little 258 alert here, just in case we get a pop down. So the NQ. Yeah, nice. That's so nice when that happens. Just a little tick into it. Back off now. So to see, where's your target, Deanna?
Well, I have two targets in mind. I only have one contract on. So typically, a 1 to 2 for me is just fine. So that would put me at 347.25. If I were using a structural time frame, though, I would be looking somewhere at where did it go? Candle body high here on the hourly time frame. So 413.25. That's a pretty large move, but it could happen today. That would be a 1 to 4.3. So probably what I'll do is just continue to move the stop up and trail as I go, trying to get somewhere between these two. This would be my first target here, 347.
Gotcha. Okay. Trader Life's come back to me with that time. He's like clockwork, that guy. So he's thinking that now is the right time for a PLL on the short side. Let's see if that confirms. So if that was a benchmark play, my perfect entry to acknowledge that would be tapping into the first sell side liquidity, which arguably, very arguably, it has just done there at 17. Would have preferred a little bit more on that, but yeah, we'll see what it's got. So I'm listening out for it on the tape at the moment. It seems to have all gone quiet. Still just ticked out of that on LGVN. There we go. Trader Life is going up with his little flush here down to 16.68. Now 60. So let's see if we can get into that 16.24 and whether or not that holds. I would rather the retest. So I'd just be tracking this down. So you arguably did touch, but I'm going to bring it down now and alert this up to see if I can't get my more textbook entry. We'll see if it comes back. Oh, right. Okay. So LGVN, I missed my target that was sitting there at LGVN. How close? 62. My target was at 60. The new low would have brought that pull down a little bit and a little bit wider. So 310 now to see if it can hold. I'd rather not hear LGVN actually on the speed of the tape. So I'd rather it kind of make its way up there without a huge amount of institutional volume coming in on this. But that is the play that we say can pay, which is the red to green on these moving averages. That unfortunately was a tick away from my stop. So I'm not going to let this get out of hand in case it goes to new highs, because we've got them up there at $4. PLL, just keeping an eye on PLL as well.
NQ's having a hard time here. So on the minute time frame, we have like a little mini double top. So I need to see price continue beyond that, but I have an aggressive stop in place just in case it wants to dip back down a little deeper.
Gotcha. Okay, looks like it's working out of that one again. Just gonna be careful here on PLL. It's into that sell side liquidity pool. LGVN.
I'm out at break even on NQ.
Okay, unlucky, not to worry.
Could have maybe given it a little bit more room, but you know, we have this like I said, mini double top look on the 1 minute. Could have probably had a stop a little bit lower, but when there isn't continuation, I like to keep it kind of tight in case things change quickly.
Makes sense.
Like this.
But you followed all your rules there, right? So there's nothing. It was just the fact that it didn't play out to a 2-to-1, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't the trade this time. It's okay.
No probs.
Look for the next opportunity. And it's always nice to get out. You know, not everybody does break even, but it can be nice to get out a little bit early if it looks like the trade isn't playing out.
I've just taken a little starter on PLL up there. So like we were saying last week, Deanna, it's one of those things where I do have, wow, everything's screaming short right now. Like I said, I do have a level above this, but I'm not trying to let it interfere with the fact that it does. I still have a benchmark. I have a double top very closely into that benchmark, and it's just given me my textbook kind of. It went for the high. It's the second time it's done it today. And then it held the first sell side liquidity pool. So if anything, I'm looking for kind of 1620. Let's see if that's brought itself up a little bit now. Let's see where that is. Still in the same place. Yeah, still in the same place. So that would be the first target on that for me down here at 1623.
Giancarlo, you mentioned having some issue with your new challenge, and they let us know this morning you should be getting an email soon. There have been some system issues, and so you should be hearing from Trade the Pool soon, letting you know what to do next or what to look out for next. Sounds like Shane already got the email, so check your inbox and you'll hear from them soon. All right, so we're getting a big move down on NQ, also ES, S&P and NASDAQ both moving lower. Scott, are you in a trade right now?
Yeah, I'm short LG. Well, I'm looking to add to LGVN and I'm short PLL. So yeah, LGVN, I'm kind of happy to add up here because we kind of sent in a new high. So I'm kind of treating that as my textbook area. So I've added in a couple of times here. I will add again up at 310 if I can get it, but anything above 327, really, or 330, let's say, I'm going to be out of that. But I'm just hoping, I just want to get it down to kind of this 260 area where my target still is sitting. Right, I don't see, this is what I draw this on every chart. There's the first color play. It's come back down to these moving averages again, and I don't want to give it a second chance. Let's have a quick look over here on LGVN.
Good to have you, Giancarlo. I hope I'm saying your name right, but I'm so glad that you've joined us this morning. All right, NQ's moving lower. There was an area of support, a market structure break a little bit higher that created a bullish zone for me here. Price has absolutely plunged through it, which isn't always the worst thing to see if you can get sort of grab some liquidity down below and push higher. However, this is a very strong break now. So the way I measure this would be a market structure shift to the downside. On the hourly time frame, we're still in a bullish scenario. We just interacted with this fair value gap over on the left side here. This is a bullish fair value gap that's been respected, and price is just now coming into contact with it here. So we'll be telling to see how price closes, interacts with this level and closes below it, above it, inside it, whatever. I'll be paying attention to this level here. So far, it looks like it might want to bounce from that level. And S&P also has a similar fair value gap. This is the first time that it's been tested right at this level here. And it has dipped below and then is rebounding from. So we could get a possible setup from here.
Trader life, I am indeed. Sorry, Deanna.
Go ahead. That's it.
All right, Trader life. Yes, I am in DLL. Let's have a quick look back to that. So I've just covered my LGVN. It's just hit target on LGVN there at 260. Nice. So I'm out of LGVN and PLL. Oh, that's almost at the first target as well there on PLL. Let's just bring that back up. 15. I'd like it a little bit deeper if we can get it, if we can still hold these stair steppers in. I'm not necessarily thinking this is going to be the high of the day. I only really think that once we close below one of the buy sides. In fact, we can argue we have just closed above the most recent buy side because it was up there. Yeah. So let's see if we can get a better boot. A nice flush, Trader life. That's what we want. A nice flush, nice big drop down into kind of. I'd like 616s would be good for me. I don't want to get involved in this moving average business when the other retail's going to jump in long. So let's see what we can get. Trader
Scott,
life, what are you guys' targets on that, mate? Sorry, Deanna, what you got?
I was just wondering if you trade IPOs.
Is that the time? Is that the
time?
I
don't know.
I think we got it at 15 minutes for our IPOs.
Oh, gotcha.
Where we can go into our IPOs. I mean, we might even now. I don't know if we've got a little segment of Wiggle today. So we've got an intro to that. So let's see what's in the private chat. Okay, gotcha. I don't know if we've got an intro. Just quick look through the branding to see if we've got anything. I don't think we got it yet. We'll just go in with it. This is going to be we're going to have a little chat. Cool, let's go into play. We better call it into play. It's taking a little look back for some sell side again. You got 1570. Yeah, I got mine at 1580 right now, so we're going for the same thing. But yeah, it's going to go from, for me, I've got this this most recent high to this low, and this is always the key for me, is to say whether I'm still in the right side of the trade. And for me, if I'm in short, sell side pulls have to hold. But as you can see, we just made it a tick off 16, kind of 23, 24 there. So let's hope we only need the first level at 1677 and we can see that come down into the 16s. That would be nice. But let's see what we've got. Okay. All right, just listening out for this to hear. I don't particularly want to hear this on the tape. 1695. Obviously, we've got a stacked pool here, but really, this one has kind of been utilized. So I'm checking, 17. I don't want to hear anything on the tape at 17 because that could cause a pop to the upside, almost for $1 or more. So I'm just checking into that right now. I should take comfort in the fact that these sell side liquidity holes should continue to hold for the sell side. So at least it's acknowledged at that point. So twice it's been up there and twice kind of 1683 was defended. So we'll see if we can get a close back under these moving averages now and get some more momentum to the downside for me. All right, Trader Love, what I love your confidence. It's so how comes you had the same level as I had? And in any case, I know you nailed the time pretty much. How comes we got the same level? Mate has got Mara in free fall, is it, mate? Let's have a quick look over Mara. I know my wallet is a little bit lighter this morning.
That's all right. That's part of it, right?
I mean obviously the bitcoins and the altcoins, as opposed to my actual wallet. but Mari, yeah, coming off a double top there. See what we've got on that first swing up. I wonder if we can hold anything up down here. Actually, that's a benchmark. Okay, so just checking these pushes down now, just in case it does want to come back and grab something. Up there at 1580 to 1590.
Mahmoud, I hope I'm saying your name right, but I just wanted to answer your question. What about looking to short NAS above the 50% of the big down move? That's a great question. And for my plan, that's not how I look at bias. That might be your plan. And this is definitely looks like a really good move down. So definitely you could have a valid reason for looking at that. For me, the way I'm looking at bias is based on the fair value gap on the hourly time frame. And price came in and dipped in there nicely and retreated from there. So for me, it's still a bullish scenario, but you may be right with such a big move down that may be the way to go today. Depending on how the NASDAQ, moves from here. We did dip below both the London open low, and now we've moved below the Asian range low and pushed slightly higher. Wasn't a big sweep below the Asian range low, just barely tapped under it. I think that's a good example of just having a way that you read the market and trying to do that consistently. For me, it can be really hard to not get caught up in seeing things that are dropping down, and so sometimes it's easy to get swayed that way. And I find it works best to have a certain way that you approach the market, but that doesn't mean it'll always be right. So great question.
Okay, flood of red from all of the Mag 7 right now as that continues to go. I've just covered PLL on this right now. I'm happy to get back into it if it can come further, but I heard PLL on the tape and it was kind of hammering that 17 number, so I'll just wait to see if it gets defended or not. But that's a kind of crucial time for me that can, oops, put that back where it was. That 17 could have just got rushed. So it's whether or not it wants to acknowledge this one still, but like I said, for me, we went so deep into that one, it was kind of a done deal. So just being careful here. On PLL. Let's quick look on NQ while I do that for oh, okay. So for me, that's into that buy side pool, and let's see if we can work out of this one now. That's that happened very quickly, but sometimes that's what the Nazi does. So we've got, yeah. So what was I waiting for? So the red to the green, the sell side pool. This was the one that that held here, and as we come in deeper into it, that as soon as it kind of cracks, that's what's brought the momentum in for me for the downside. And then now we've gone into the first one, into the one that was sitting there from Friday's price action, and this one is obviously off the most recent move up and down that has held. So looking to see what we've got now. So obviously a break of now 203 and a close below can see us work deeper into the liquidity pool that was created from Friday. Okay, just back to PLL for a second. I'm just going to put a little alert in here if we get back down into there. Looking back at PLL, see if that pushed 17 again. Okay. So if we close back under this 1670 area, it looks more like an ad at the minute, to be fair. But yeah, definitely didn't like that momentum coming in on the tape on Trade Life. What are you doing on this? Oh, he's adding now. Sorry, mate. Nice. Okay, let's see what we got then. Okay. Just having a look at Coin and Mara as well. Coin exactly the same pattern as Mara. I think we got the same to the downside. $238. So crack at this 243.40 area is going to, well, certainly should come in for 241.20s, but the benchmark offer down there at 237.55. MNDR. Right, so it's holding up at that level and probably holding. Let me just check. Okay. Oh, I was working this off the actual low, wasn't I? Let's double check. Let's do this. Still got an eye on PLL over here. Okay, so yeah, they're holding up at the moment, these buy-side pulls on MNDR, so nothing to worry about at this point, apart from there is accumulation at 18s. It's just defended every time as well, though. Defended every time. Yeah, it's probably just taking a breather before it pushes up to 19s. Okay. Oh, PLL on the tape. 1 second. Okay, that's a triple top now, pretty much, you know, arguably double top at that price, but certainly a push from pre-market. Double top into there, the 1730s. Let's see if that's enough. That's a beautiful pattern up there. Let's see if we can get a flush from that. So certainly rejection off that level again, almost identical to the one before. I'm just nervous on the fact that we had tape on the break of 17. So I'm just going to give it a minute. Okay. I'm in again on PLL there at 1704. And this time, let's see if it works out. Tesla headed deep into that liquidity ball, covered that way too early. As usual with Tesla, I still trade like it's a small cap. So something I need to work on. PLL. Back to PLL. Okay, so we're now under that sell side liquidity at 1704. So you got a nice add there if you held on to that trade of life at those highs. Well done. This is a much better price action. So the second time we can see this do it a little bit quicker, hopefully. What have I got now? So this push up has created a new buy side pull. So this is the one where we're anticipating this one will break to get down lower to any other pull. And this is it, kind of this time of day coming into 10:30 is the time I want these to play out. Anything after this time can get a little bit algo-y, and I'd much rather the flush on PLL now. I don't know about you, Trader Life, but that's what I would like to see right now, down to these 16s. All right, we are moments away from a little chat about IPOs, and we'll let this one work out. Are you in anything right now, Deanna?
No, I'm just watching the NQ still. Trying to make up its mind.
Okay, let's see how that plays out. I'm just going to put a stop at the highs on PLL for now. And see if that can hold for the day. Let's bring this target down to 16. Okay, so now we're going to have a chat about IPOs. And to do that, we are going to lose the chart so that we concentrate on talking about IPOs. Okay, so here we go. There we go. So you did start actually. You was asking me a question about whether I traded them or not, wasn't you?
Yeah, I was wondering.
So generally, no, because I mean, obviously there is a certain amount of it's a major catalyst, an IPO, one of the biggest catalysts that you can really get. But yeah, very, very volatile. They kind of act like a small cap on day one for me. But generally, it's not something that I'm not looking to zone out. I don't generally zoom in on earning plays because I just don't necessarily play those sort of stock. Earnings generally don't have any real impact on small caps. Small caps really do their own thing. But yeah, I think just to say what an IPO is, obviously it's an initial public offering. It's a way that the firm can raise capital for itself, and there's kind of, I think, different levels of IPOs. Reddit we had the other day, that was an interesting one. Kind of Reddit was where the meme crowd was kind of trading GME and the like, so that one was an interesting one for me. So we was looking at that one on stream when that went off, so I did like Reddit. But generally, yeah, I think they are a little bit of small cap action for me. Have you had any kind of do you do them at all, Deanna, or not?
I generally like to see more price action come out so that I can trade the actual price action, the technical patterns. So most of the time, but I don't. But I did one time trade Facebook back in the day on its IPO day. I learned my lesson for good, was quickly stopped out, and haven't traded an IPO day since. But it seemed like a historic moment for Facebook. So it was okay.
All right. Yeah. So I think there's a fair bit of criteria that goes into an IPO. It's obviously, a lot of the time it's underwritten by investment banks, which is kind of my background, although my background isn't in the underwriting side. But yeah, you have to meet a whole lot of criteria if you're going to raise money and do it by listing on an exchange and going for an IPO. You have to convince kind of everyone there's a case for it. For starters, you need to show that the money that is raised, that can be utilized well. So it's almost a pitch to any investor that you're going for. And then there's a difference between primary and secondary investing. When we get the IPO and we can trade it, that's the secondary. The primary is insiders. The directors, the management of the company can get involved. Or you're actually subscribing directly to the primary stock. So that price may be different to the price that it actually starts out on the day. So they might say, okay, we're gonna have a listing price of 28. So the primaries would get a price of 28, but actually when it opens on the market, it could open at 34. Therefore, the primaries are already in the money, and the secondaries are just playing what the gamble that it kind of is on day one. But I think in terms of the way, and I think we're doing this kind of segment on IPOs, that we're concentrating on the socials this week as well. And I think the way I play them is absolutely no different, because I'm not someone that generally looks left on the chart. So I think, it is for people that do look left on the chart. I don't know how they would play IPOs necessarily. Just trading exactly what they see at that point in time is kind of all they can do. They have to wait for some price action to go. But for me, it's all about that initial spread that's created, that initial range that's created, that would create benchmarks and liquidity pools off that. I just do exactly the same thing. And we can go over some examples later on in the week. But I think for the minute, I think you can go into, if we just let's bring Google up and we can have a look at what so I'd just be searching for like IPO calendar, for example, an IPO calendar. If you're interested in getting some of these stocks, you can have Nasdaq's IPOs. Stock analysis is good, but you can see here all of the stocks that are coming up. So you can do it by April, May, March. So if you want to get ahead of the game, if this is something that you like to trade, then you can have a look at the IPO calendar and say, right, okay, TWG is coming up, June is coming up, CDTG is coming up. Now, if I were to trade these, this is something where I would do a little bit of investigation on the stock itself, because I think there are IPOs and there are IPOs. Given that you have to put a financial statement together in order to list, you have to prove that your finances are in order. And I'm not sure necessarily that all IPOs do have their finances in order. So biotechs, for example, have a crazy burn rate of cash. All they're doing is investing and spending into whatever kind of drug or it is or phase trial that they're doing at that point in time. So they can't really put a case together for financials, right? They have to use other things. They have to show their clinical data, what it is on their side they think they're going to get funding from investors and obviously the public. The question is, in the biotechs, how much funding do they get from institutions versus how much of it is funded purely on the retail side? Given that we have pump and dumps on biotechs, you can make your own decisions on that. But I think there may be a lot of retail investment on biotech IPOs that end up in a similar place to every other pump and dump. So, but yeah, if we're looking at something like Reddit, when you do look at those financials and you look at their revenue versus their spend, their net looks good, their business case looks good, their product looks good, then that's more likely something that you could look for. As to say, this has probably got longer legs than, you know, the first day to the long side. So I think I'd definitely do a little bit more investigation on that, and we can talk about where that might be possible to do. In fact, if we just went back to got a lot of Nasdaq stocks going off in my ear right now. Sorry about that. It's must be slamming down, I assume. Let's have a take a look at stock analysis. So yeah, just same stocks obviously coming up for the week. But you can click into kind of any one of these and then just have a quick look and see what their kind of market cap is, what their revenue is, what their net income is. And even this one has got a net income, a revenue of 11.7. Revenue of 11.7 million, but a net income of 2.43 million. So they're doing something with that, the best part of 10 million there, aren't they? So that doesn't immediately look like a great financial case when you look at that. But if you look at something like Reddit, you're going to have a lot better picture to go through here. But I'd be looking at basically what they're expecting to put out. Is there going to be that here? There's 29 million shares out. That includes primary and secondary. The float, if you look at the float, which generally isn't populated on day one, but the float is actually what's available to the public to trade. So if the float is, so if here the shares out at 29 million, the float might actually be only 10 million because 19 million of it is already taken by the primary group and the insiders, the management and the directors of the company. So again, if the float is a micro float, a nano float, if it only ends up being kind of 2 million shares they're raising outside of the insiders, then that stock can literally pump just like any other small cap stock. And that's essentially what it is, IPO or not. It will probably just pump and dump if that's kind of what you're looking at. A small cap, low float raise is going to just be a pump and dump generally. So you need to watch out for that. Whereas bigger raises, if we're offering kind of 10 million shares, 20 million shares coming out, then that's one that you've probably got more alongside potential on. It's not always the case. Every stock is kind of different. I think MNDR is one. Is MNDR what was we looking at there? Is MNDR just checking MNDR for a second to see if it was an IPO. Yeah, MNDR. So we're looking at MNDR. MNDR is data only started here on the 10th. So I'm assuming it is what we had this month. Yeah. So that is an IPO that has got upside. So I'm just treating this on day one like any other low in the market and saying, right, it's got a benchmark at between 13 and 9, and it can go up to 20. For this push up, its buy side liquidity pool is there. I'll just track it exactly the same. But looking at MDR, which we can do tomorrow. We can use this as an example on the session, and say, we can have a look at what their kind of fundamentals are versus Reddit, say, and just how would we trade it different. But this is certainly a mobile health network solution. It's not necessarily a biotech. It's providing services in that space. So it may be treated a little bit different on the financials, but we could have a look at that tomorrow and see what we've got. But for the minute, I don't really trade them any different if I was going to trade them to how I trade a small cap.
How long does it take for your liquidity pools to register? So it looks like you're on the hourly chart. So maybe that's like 48 hours or 25 hours, 24 hours or something like that.
Immediately the price action kicks off pretty much. Yeah. So like each of these, so if I was trading this on day one, the first thing I'd be looking for is this buy side pull there. So literally, so the first push it ever had on the 1 minute or 2 minute chart, I would be looking across here and kind of extending that out. I don't know if we do tap into it on MNDR, but yeah, pretty much. Oh yeah, there we do. So the first day, not a lot is going on there for me. I would obviously also do the sell side, because there may be a trade on the sell side. With this action, I can't give you a decent benchmark on the stop off of this sketchy price action on the open. So I couldn't do anything about. The most I could do is draw that high in. It's actually just exactly what we've done on PLL, which we've just got stopped out on, or at least I have, at 1720. Is pulling that first swing and say, right, if this is going to be the high of the IPO day, then the minimum I kind of want to happen is the sell side holds. Then I'd be playing it sell side to buy side, and then I'd give it up for the day. So literally the trade would be the short at 760 and covering it somewhere near 640, 650 as it taps into that in the session. And then I start the day like any other. I'd be bringing this in and running benchmarks off it like I have done. This was literally on the scanner, and someone in the chat mentioned it. It was in the chat that mentioned it this morning, first up. I don't know.
Shane, maybe.
Was it Shane? Yeah. Shane and Parker, yeah. They were interested in that. So yeah, like I say, no different really to anything else. It's just a little harder to grab that first piece of information to work from, but generally it still works out for me that no upside can come in until you break and close above that sell side, and that's it. Then comes back, grabs the next pool of buy side, and off it goes. But we can take a look a little bit more tomorrow and perhaps compare a Reddit with MNDR or another biotech that's gone out lately. All right, so that's our little segment on IPOs. Trader Life saying trading an IPO is like playing roulette. Yeah, it's I'd kind of agree with that in the first instance. But, right, let's have a look at what happened on a little recap on, or not a recap, but PLL. So this looked, where are we? So this looked absolutely beautiful, and this is why I can't keep so much emphasis on the tape at these buy side pulls. I love that pattern there into a benchmark. My only issue is, like I said, I've got levels above. We held that sell side, which was beautiful. We come back. I didn't like that close of 17. We then held the buy side again, so that is kind of like, right, buy sides holding. If that happens, then sell sides have got to fail to go higher, which is what we've just done there. So another push up. For me, this is how many more times do I want to try this? All I'm going to do now is I'm not going to try and short this again. I'm going to draw in now the next buy side liquidity pool that can hold if it needs to come down, if it wants to come down, to utilize that buy side. So yeah, whether or not it wants it, but you know, as much as we've just taken out all the short stops at this point, I don't know what you're thinking, Trader Life, but all the short stops have probably been taken out at this point, including my own on that. So you could get a harder flush here, but that's what I kind of said about the second entry that I went in for. So now it's like, okay, well, I need something more then. I need something more. So this is the kind of thing where I want to buy side to fail before I can get in, or I'm going to look at those. I'm going to look at a V-Weap. So the same, we've held V-Weap. Yep, I'm seeing some red, but now it's not enough for me to short again right now anyway. Perhaps later on in the day, but I still think this is going to be pushed a little bit more throughout the session. Where's NQ at, Deanna?
Just going lower and lower. And, Mahmoud had mentioned earlier, what about looking to short NAS above the 50% of the big move down? And, honestly, he's absolutely right. I missed this bearish fair value gap here on the hourly time frame. My bias should have been bearish all along. We had come into this area here, but the most recent fair value gap that price had interacted with was this level, and I frankly just missed it. So nice call on that. That is what I would be looking for now at the next opportunity. There probably was, and I'll have to look back at this, there probably actually was an opportunity after we swept the London open highs. Price broke strongly lower. This is what he's talking about. So great call. I missed this one. When price broke strongly lower here, you could have drawn a Fibonacci. Again, a Fibonacci is just a measurement tool for me. So I know some people use it as like magic numbers. I'm using it just as a simple tool to draw the retracement level. So just like he said, all the way from the 50% up to 70.5% in here is where I would have liked to get short, and I should have been getting short, and I was absolutely looking at the opposite direction. So yes, I have Monday brain, but thank you for bringing that up and for pointing that out.
Makes sense though. I don't know whether, do you look at the market internals, Delinda? Oh, I keep calling you Delinda. It's the second time I've called you that. I used to work with someone called Delinda, so I keep calling you Delinda instead of Deanna. Just because it starts with the same two letters. In any case, Deanna, do you use market internals with your trading, or is I mean, I know it's not part of ICT, but I assume you just zone in on the zones.
I just look at the price action, just whatever I see on the chart, the technical action, price action on the chart, whether it's ICT, supply and demand, price structure, whatever it is. I'm just looking at the actual technical action.
Gotcha. Okay.
No internals.
So I mentioned this one on Friday on Trader Life. What you got next short on PLL coming at 11:03. He's signing with his times. He's telling me don't quit with a short. He's coming in at 11:03. Okay, man. All right. We'll see. Maybe I'll take it with you. If you're adding here, we'll see what we got. So I'm just gonna quickly flick back then to the NQ then. So we're seeing these kind of, like this was the original punch in this morning, really hard and really fast. Then we had a buy side pull hold twice, 3 times, then fell to go slightly deeper into this buy side. Now this can continue to happen again. Like you can go all the way into the mid to the bottom of this. But sometimes if you look at the tick, and really, this is if you're looking at the tick where you've got a level, right? And I know you always have, a level. You're not just trying to trade, as the price moves. But again, the tick just I've got an alert on a tick at 1,000, and the tick on the 1,000 was obviously below and below again, and then this time, so you can see the tick's giving us divergence on the NQ right now. This is the NYSE. There is one for the NQ, but generally they're very, very closely aligned. So this is literally all of the stocks in the NYSE, or I think there's a tick Q. Yeah, Nasdaq combined tick. So this will be a lesser extreme than the NYSE is 1,000. So let's have a look here. So, yeah, so we're still seeing this kind of the lows that it's holding pushing up. Now, obviously, you can have all sorts of divergence that you can put on any indicator on your chart, but this is literally the whole Nasdaq of stocks here putting in divergence, not just necessarily one indicator on one chart. It doesn't mean it can't push lower, right, and go all the way down to 800 and put in a new low. It can, but if you play these back or even put it on a higher time frame on the tick, you can see that if you look back, you'll see that these literally where they range out from the norm, from the mean, they're normally the high of the day or the low of the day. So yeah, just something to note on. There's a few internals that you've got that track this, but yeah, even if you're just putting through, like I just put like an average channel through, or just kind of eyeball it as what's average and say, right, anything that can spike out of there can either be a nice pullback if you're shorting or vice versa. And if it gets very extreme, it can generally be the high or the low of the day. But just something to look at. Don't want to put you off any of your levels, but so here we go again. It's let's see, it's pushing lower into that. So if I just look at the tick now, see if we get another extreme. All right, so we've just broken what was that divergence, but are we going to hold this 783 level? So still getting red from the individual stocks themselves. Yet the tick is pushing up. So let's compare that to the NQ. So I'm still seeing red. Okay, so slightly pushing up. But yeah, I wonder if we can get any lower than this, because this was that area. If I come up on the 30 minutes, well, I said earlier, we keep putting in these buy pools at exactly the same place. With every economic release we're having, they're in the same place, right? So I'll leave that channel where it was. So yeah, is this one going to hold again? We need one to break at some point. Okay. So PLL now looking to see if we can get a close below this. So we've got V-Weaps coming in again. That will be also the low of the buy side liquidity pool. Did you catch that one? Oh no, that was, yeah. So at 0.3 past the hour for Trader Life on his timing calls. MNDR done it. Look, okay, MNDR has pushed into its benchmark. So it was going this side, but look at the dip down. Literally took out the lower buy side liquidity pool and then rushed up to 19. We was literally just looking at this when we was talking about IPOs. So yeah, that's the only analysis I would have done from day one on that stock. So we'll see what it has on it. If that isn't a short, like literally, this is when you kind of have to be super careful with benchmark twos, because you can literally take that initial range that it come from and you can just put it on top. If it breaks from where it is now, you just put it on top. If it pulls back, then you take it down to the pullback, and that kind of same risk would be on, or that kind of same reward would be on again. It's just a case of where your entry would be at that point. But that was sitting up there waiting at 90. Literally took it all the way to the round number as well, up there at 20, right to the top of that benchmark. That's what you so let's see what that's got on it now, because if see how aggressive that is. But it's first sell side liquidity to say, yep, that could be the high of day. And then the next buy side, obviously this one got counted out. This one was the valid one, so we take it from the one that was utilized to the benchmark now. And that's your buy side pull. So that for me is a really nice kind of risk to reward here, because if we can punch up to kind of 1930, you can risk higher day at 70 cents. And you've got 1930, you got $2 on it for 70 cents. So meanwhile, PLL has just put in new low. Trader Life, you're in the money if you've been adding along all the way there. Well done. MNDR. So I got 1935. That just got to 1910. Wow. We're done already. So we have to... what are we going to do here?
Thanks, Melwood, for clarifying. I think we're ready to wrap it up. That went by so fast.
Oh, it did. It has been going super fast right now. So we're going to do... should we do a quick recap? I can't think what I've got on here. I'm going to do a quick recap. Okay, so I'm bearing in mind I don't want to miss this MNDR trade. Everything's coming off again. Sorry, bear with me. Turn this down. Okay. Let's go and have a look at PLL. Okay. PLL for me. So you can see that I've got into this twice, covered, added, and then got stopped out at 1742 on that wick up to 1766. Trader Life has played this one right. I'm sure. Let me know if you have just added all the way there, Trader Life. Yeah, there you go. On what time frame? Nice one, Trader Life. Well done. So yeah, that's coming off nicely there, but unfortunately my rules were to take it all off the second attempt at that close above the sell side liquidity pool in case it rushed up to kind of mid-20s. So nothing there. The other trade I had was on Tesla, which, looking at the NASDAQ now, seems minuscule to the move it actually had. Let's bring this Tesla trade over. Yeah, so literally a small piece of the meat of the move today there, from 168 down to 167.5 on Tesla. So must try better with large caps when I get into them to hold them a little bit more. But who was to know the NQ was about to fall like it did? And Deanna, what have you got there?
I went for a long trade on NQ and was stopped out at break even. So I should have been trading short this morning based on this imbalance here. And I just, it's just one of those days. I went the wrong direction and luckily was able to get out before NQ just absolutely plunged lower. So try again tomorrow.
Yes, indeed. So we got a question in there about whether or not, from a future day trader billionaire, Yeah, it went way too fast. I agree with you. He wants to know if we trade power hour. So my answer over at the Liquid Vision channel is sometimes if it looks okay, if there's something to do, I'll stream live on the power hour. How about you, Deanna?
I'm over at Psychologist to Trader every Monday through Friday, usually in the afternoons. I typically am not there on Friday afternoon, but yeah, I will trade the afternoon, and then also Thursday and Friday morning as well.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, you can find us over at those channels, and if not, we will be back here tomorrow, same time, same place. So we will see you then. Cheers, everybody.